So same grouping, one upper body push, an upper body pull, a lower body hinge, and a lower body squat variation. And we're going to use a lower body hinge and a lower body squat variation. And we're going to use the chair again. Obviously, you could use whatever chair you have at home or a couch or whatever it is. So for the first exercise down on the ground, again, I have to move this. I was not thinking about this in advance. We're going to do this. This is going to have more of a hamstring focus, so a slightly longer lever. So your heels are going to be up on the chair. And you can see that my knees are much less bent. They're bent a little bit, but not a lot. I'm pressing my heels down, engaging my hamstrings. Again, slight pelvic tuck, lifting up and down. So this is going to be more of a hamstring exercise. As I mentioned, a little bit less of the glute. But again, you want to be really mindful of your pelvis. And we're going to do probably about 15 to 20 here. You can also experiment, it's going to change it up a little bit, with externally rotating at the hips and doing some there. And it's kind of nice to maybe mix it up, just play around. You'll probably get a little bit of extra lift there. Okay, so that's your first exercise, hamstring posterior work. That's your hinge exercise. So then your upper body exercise is going to be, we're going to do some push-ups on the chair. We're going to keep it simple. So elevated, hands, and do not do these knee down on the floor. So do them on a couch, a bench, at the wall, but you are better off working the long lever, meaning having your feet on the ground rather than the knees to build strength. Elbows go out to the side, lower the chest any amount, and come back up. And you are moving. It's like your plank is like an elevator. Your whole body is in a plank, and just your shoulders are moving. And you're going to know really quickly about how many of these you want to do. 10 to 12-ish, maybe, with good form. So again, you've got your 3 sets. 3 of the hamstring exercise, 3 of the push-ups. You can superset them if you want, meaning hamstring, push-up, rest, hamstring, push-up, rest. Okay, so then the second grouping is going to be a B stance squat. So I said I was going to use this band, and now I'm actually turning out not to use it, but just, that's okay. So B stance squat means your legs are staggered a little bit. So hopefully you can see, and if you can't, my right foot is a little bit in front of my left foot. So the foot that's closer in is going to do the work. You can have your hands on your hips, you can have your hands out in front of you or wherever you want. And you're coming up, and most of the work, like 85-90% of the work, is in the foot that's closer to you and back down. And the other foot just helps out a little bit. So you're going to do maybe 10 to 12 to 15 per leg. And then you'll do 3 rounds. And you want to make sure that you control the lower. So you can see as I'm coming down, I need to work a little bit better about not just kind of letting my weight flop down and rock back. I want to sit down, control, 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 and then come back up. And then you would switch legs. So now my right leg is in a little bit closer. It's probably going to look reversed on the camera, but it just doesn't matter which side you start with. And you'll do the same thing. Okay, good. And then for your upper body pull exercise, I'm going to take, we're not going to use that little band at all. Sorry about that. I'm taking a lighter band. So again, if you don't have a lighter band, if you only have one band, you can still do this. You're just going to do more or less depending on the weight. And this is going to be a Y shape. So you're going to hold the band in an overhead position. I have this, like, I don't know if you can see, it's kind of wrapping around outside my pinky, and I've got a thumbs up. And then I'm just pulling my arms straight up, so my upper body is making a capital Y. And then the arms go back down together in front of me. So I pull up and back down. Feet root into the floor. Again, rib cage stacks over the pelvis, keeping the core really neutral. So your upper body pull exercise. And depending on the weight of the band, it's going to depend on how many repetitions you do. A lighter band, you could do more, maybe 15 to 20. A heavier band, you might do a lot less. And that's fine. It's really good to actually mix up your rep ranges, working with higher reps and lower reps. is a really good, efficient way to build strength. And then our last two core exercises, come down onto hands and knees. Again, I'm trying to make sure that you can see me. And you're gonna hover your knees just about an inch, and you're gonna crawl. Opposite hand, opposite leg. And again, this is about stability. Notice I'm not piking my hips up. I'm not rocking side to side, maybe a tiny bit, but I'm working to do this with control. And you can time yourself for this, and you could do this for like 30 seconds, I think would actually be perfect, rather than sort of counting your crawls. And I'm just thinking for a moment, maybe we'll just leave it at that, because I think for any other rotational exercises, you could do the twists from the other video. But I think you could throw in this. If you want. We did these just this past week. You can bring the knees together, hover the knees, and rotate here. So you had to kind of pivot on your toes. So breastbone stays down, and you're turning kind of on your feet, side to side. And again, you could do that for maybe like 15, 20 seconds, and then repeat. So again, let me know if you have any questions. Scooting forward because I don't have my little remote to shut off the camera. And again, pick and choose, do what works. Anything, as always, is better than nothing. Just paying attention to your form and being really mindful about how you're feeling and what's moving.